Hey, I'm Stephanie Staples. Welcome to the Stephology Podcast, where I'll be talking about music, songwriting, faith, George MacDonald, my undying love for Scotland and coffee, and possibly also my disdain for vent fans and white noise.
Breath of life, fill this temple, my heart's been torn in two. It's all too much, my spirit's been shattered. Comfort me with truth. I don't understand why he is gone, and I don't know just how I'm gonna make it. Oh, please keep me strong.
Welcome back to the Stephology Podcast. George MacDonald said there is nothing from the lowest, weakest tone of suffering to the loftiest acme of pain to which God does not respond. I was listening to my online Bible a few weeks ago, and something stuck out to me that hadn't before. In Matthew 26:58, it says, "Meanwhile, Peter followed him at a distance and came to the high priest's courtyard. He went in and sat with the guards and waited to see how it would all end." At first, I thought of the way Peter has been portrayed most of my life. The guy who denied Christ. The coward who talked a good talk but abandoned his friend when everything came to a head. He didn't want to suffer. But this time, I had a different thought. Peter followed at a distance, but he still followed. Before this happened, Jesus had told Peter that he knew that he was going to deny him. And Peter was insistent that he never would. Even if everyone else does, he said, "I will never deny you, Lord." Oh, how he loved his friend. But Peter's confidence was quickly shaken when the man he was ready to crown king was dragged away in the night. Peter was probably one of the followers that was ready to fight. Remember, at least one of them drew a sword to resist, and the Lord told him to put it away because this moment of apparent defeat and surrender was ordained by God. So Peter followed at a distance to see how things would work out. As time went on, he discovered they were not working out well. As he warmed himself by a fire, a woman recognized him and accused him of being a follower, a friend of the accused. Instead of viewing him as a weak and cowardly man, this time I thought about the circumstances. Peter was probably bewildered. This was not what he was expecting. He had seen Jesus work miracles. He had seen him cast out demons, heal the sick, multiply food to feed thousands, and answer anyone who questioned him with a wisdom and an authority that was incomparable to anything he had ever experienced. But now, what was happening? Peter was terrified, and he denied his association as emphatically as he had denied the possibility of betraying his friend before. Then the rooster crowed. He remembered, and he wept. How many of us can relate? Those first days, weeks, months, maybe years of our faith, enthusiastic, all in, seeing miracles in us and in those around us, ready to fight, whatever the cost for the cause of Christ. Then life happens, and the Lord disappoints us. He stops saying yes to everything. People we love get sick, suffer, and even die. Maybe the church we've looked to for spiritual guidance lets us down, and maybe the gospel that they presented turns out to be incomplete. When the Christians we loved and trusted most let us down when we need them most. When the ministers we look to with respect and admiration and trust turn out to be wolves in sheep's clothing like Judas, serving for the profit with no regard for us. Our once victorious life of faith begins to crumble and disillusionment sets in. Why, we ask, if he is the King of all kings and the Lord of all lords, the healer of hearts, redeemer and restorer of this broken world, why is he allowing this defeat? Whatever the reason for our disillusionment, Many of us know what it is to follow at a distance, bewildered, disillusioned, sad, disappointed, angry, but still hanging on. A long time ago, I wrote a song about this. I sang to the Lord, if I could open up my heart, the hurt that's kept our souls apart could find another home, and I would be made whole. Maybe following at a distance is avoiding anything that reminds us of those moments of connection. Maybe we follow at a distance because we know we can't get too close, or we might break down. We don't want to trust again. What else might happen? Our Savior and friend really let us down. His plans were not in alignment with our hopes and dreams or earnest prayers. Our friend led us into a life of suffering and apparent defeat instead of the abundant, victorious life we were promised. Maybe we fear that if we follow too closely, we might be misunderstood or lumped into a category. Identifying with our suffering servant might cost us our reputation. Our friends may walk away, but still, we had those moments with Jesus, and we know some of it was real. We don't understand what he's doing or why he's allowing these things, but we still love him. Something in us compels us to keep following. Peter was a human who was bewildered, disillusioned, and scared. But Jesus knew he would be. He knew Peter did not have it in him, and he tried to prepare his friend for that moment. He told him, Peter, you are going to deny me 3 times. But then he said, but when you return, strengthen your brothers. When you return. Jesus' words were more than a warning. They were a kindness. He was letting Peter know that he understood him completely, that he knew that Peter did not have the strength or understanding for what was ahead. But he also knew that Peter was faithful and would keep following, and that after that period of denial, he would be brought back to faith.
God of love, heal me, I'm broken, mend my wounded soul. Prince of peace, I need relief, this pain's too much to hold. I don't understand, please hold my hand, 'cause I don't know just how I'm gonna make it. Oh, please keep me strong.
Another senseless act of terror was carried out in our nation recently. Precious children were targeted as they prayed. The principal of the Catholic Church said their verse for the year was Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. And we hear that and say, surely God had no good plan for this community. But the context of Jeremiah 29:11 is incredible. Jeremiah was proclaiming a promise from God to a people who had been carried off into exile, a people who had experienced horror and abuse. And he said, God has good plans for you. Maybe we won't see those plans on this side of eternity. Maybe our hearts will continue to ache until the day we are made whole and we are restored to the ones we love. Wherever you are on your faith journey, whatever your grief, suffering, disappointment, or even shame, may you remember God's promise of a hope and a future. May you cling to the words of Jesus, who says to you today, when you return, strengthen your brethren. The Lord will take your broken heart, breathe life into it, and use your life to strengthen others in a similar space. A few days ago, my oldest daughter mentioned how the Lord would bless those who honor him. I made sure to clarify, Jesus does not guarantee us any sort of earthly reward. I referenced Corrie ten Boom and her family, who took a stand for what was right and suffered terribly on this side of eternity in Nazi prison camps. I told her Jesus is the blessing, His presence is with us, guiding us, protecting us, breathing life moment by moment. As Corey and her sister experienced him, walking beside them in that dark pit of suffering, they were blessed in that broken place. Corey said, "There is no pit so deep that God is not deeper still." Many years ago, I was in a conversation with a missionary, and I was sharing how I was realizing I had this idea and thought that although God allows suffering in our lives, there's somehow got to be a limit. But as I was speaking, I was reminded, as limitless as the suffering God allows, His mercy is limitless. It's hard to remember sometimes, but His mercy and His grace are enough. And the only way to truly come into an understanding of that is to be in a dark space and have the light of Christ breathe into you. In this dark world of suffering and pain and loss, the Lord is our light and our salvation. He's the strength of our life. Of whom shall we be afraid, the psalmist says. The amount of loss my community and my friends have experienced over the past couple of years is staggering. Our community has also experienced a school shooting, an act of terrorism on precious children. There are no words and no song that can take away the pain of loss like this. But the Psalms remind us of our hope. They remind us we are not alone. They remind us of the God who will one day help us breathe again. Many years ago, a friend of mine lost her brother to suicide. I wrote a song called Breath of Life and released it. This past year, I lost my precious cousin David unexpectedly. I sat down at the piano, as I often do when I'm grieving, and I reworked Breath of Life and changed some things, and we're releasing it on Friday, and it's now called Breathe Again. George MacDonald also says, "Dear friend, trust in Him who must love you better than you love your little children. He will be with you in your pain, and you will be able to bear it. I think He has been with me in my pain and never let it go beyond what I was able to bear. He knows all about it, and He would not be a perfect God if His sympathy were not perfect." And I would add to that, if His empathy were not perfect. Jesus walked this road just like we do. He knew suffering, He knew pain, He knew misunderstanding, disappointment. He knew loneliness, He knew fear. Remember when He was praying in the garden, He had basically a panic attack, an anxiety attack. He sweat so badly. It says there were drops of blood. He knows and He understands. We do not suffer alone. And while we may not feel peace today, we may not feel joy, we can experience the help of His presence, sitting with us in that dark place, as Corey and her sister experienced Jesus walking beside them in that pit, that place that was like hell. So we also can experience Jesus if we will open up our heart. If we've been following at a distance, I believe the Lord is saying to us now, return to me, and then strengthen your brethren. When I was listening to this verse, I visited some friends, and they have experienced a loss that I honestly can't even fathom. And when I left their house, it's like I could feel a palpable sense of pain. And I said to the Lord, how will they ever find peace? How will they ever know the goodness of your presence again? How can you even restore that to them? They are so broken. And then I was reminded of this story again. Peter having an encounter with the resurrected Christ. That is what restored him. And so I began to pray for my friends that they would have an encounter with the resurrected Christ and they would be restored to hope. Because it's truly a supernatural gift. It's nothing we can work up. We can't heal ourselves. We can't make anything better. So I pray for all of you who might be listening. Maybe you're grieving a loss. Maybe you haven't experienced any relief from your pain. I pray that you will open up your heart to have an encounter with the living, resurrected Christ and that he will meet you where you are, even if you're in a pit so deep, that he will be deeper still. When you return, strengthen your brothers and sisters. I'm going to play the song Breathe Again that releases on Friday right here on the podcast. I hope it ministers to you and reminds you that you are not alone. So many understand your suffering, and more than that, Jesus understands. Here's Breathe Again.
Breath of life, fill this temple. My heart's been torn in two. It's all too much, my spirit's been shattered. Comfort me with truth. I don't understand why he is gone, and I don't know just how I'm gonna make it. Oh, please keep me strong. God of love, heal me, I'm broken. Mend my wounded soul. Prince of peace, I need relief. This pain's too much to hold. I don't understand. Please hold my hand, 'cause I don't know just how I'm gonna make it. Oh, please keep me strong. Maybe I'll survive if you'll just breathe your life. Maybe someday soon I'll breathe if you hold me tight. I don't know just how I'm gonna make it. Oh, please keep me strong. My holy guide, you are with me, and you'll make a way through the storm. And though I'm sad, my heart trusts in you, my shelter, my rock, and my joy. With you I will survive, hiding in your loving arms. I know that someday soon I'll breathe if you hold me tight, my breath of life.
Follow me on Instagram at Stephanie Staples. You can also find my music and a whole lot more at stephaniestaples.com.